sit. Whenever you're going to do this mat exercise, always walk her up to the mat and have her sit first, because she loves this mat, as you'll see, and therefore she needs to get your permission to go onto the mat. So she's sitting, she's on your left-hand side. Don't hold the leash tight, because that'll create tension and stress in her and excitement. So keep the leash loose. If she pops up before you release her, just tap it. She'll go back. So she's waiting for me to tap her chest and say, go to your mat, down. So I walked over with her and I said down. As you can see, she ran over. And this exercise is just about her staying in a downstay. Good. Accepting the reward in a as calm as she can be, and respectful way from you, not grabbing it out of your hands, not, being hyper and trying to, nudging your hand a lot. Good. Say good the moment she takes it, because we want her over time to hear that word good and feel good about it, because it's associated with getting a treat. And you can just start doing this basic downstay where she accepts you walking around her both ways. In fact, if you just do this and get this down, that's so much of this. And practice, good. Practice rewarding her exactly like that. You saw how I did it. I didn't come like this and creep up to her like that. I'm being normal. Have the treat in my right hand, and I just swing in like that, and she moved forward, but see, nope, you can still see she's really waiting. Good. Place it on the mat and let go of it. And if she tries to get it before you release it, you pull back and you say no. And if you have to do that 5 times, you do it. She has to make sure that you're committed. You have to make sure that she knows, good, that you're committed to the pattern, the way this is going to go. So you see exactly how I'm doing it. And you can do so many other things after you're comfortable with doing that. And you should do that thing that I did with the rewarding, the calm reward, in several different places. I've been to your house, so I know we could do it in the kitchen. You can also do it outside, on the slab, under I guess it's a awning, the eaves or whatever it is. It's like an outside garage. You can do it other places too. Once she's good in those places and you can do it confidently, because this is really about you learning how to do my moves. Good. Then you can pick some other places to do it, like closer to the front door, places like that. But once you've got that walking around and the rewarding exactly the way you see it being done here, once you get that down, you can do other things like pull on the leash. Good. Other little tests, other little things that used to make her jump up, and every dog will pop up when you do that before they're trained. Most of them, they're used to their owners pulling them to them, so they'll pop up and come to you. So that's a little test. If she passes it and doesn't get up, good. So now I'm going to pretend that she made a mistake. I'm going to release her, but we'll pretend that she made a mistake because she's not going to make a mistake here. Okay, this is how you take her off. Sit, and then go. So let's pretend she got up. So you did something that triggered her. She got up, and you're going to say no. You're going to step into her like this, and you're going to reset her, and she's going to put herself back. She has a little thing with your foot. You see how she's not doing it here. And she kind of goes after your foot at your house. So I think that the way to get over that, since in the beginning she sort of did do it a little bit here. I seem to remember in the first few days, but she got over it very quickly. But at your house, you cannot flinch and you cannot pull back. If she just sort of like makes a fake like she's going to go to your foot, just ignore it. If you ignore that, it's a minor type of behavior. If you correct it, since there's no way you can possibly correct her severely enough to make her not want to do it, good. And it wouldn't work anyway. It would just make her freak out if you try to correct her. The best way to do it is to not react to it. She's not going to hurt your foot, so you don't have to worry about that. Good. If behavior is not given a result, if she doesn't react to it, it's going to die off. So there's no payoff. You don't go, hey, knock it off, or leave it, or whatever you would say. If you don't do that, which is perfectly marking that behavior, and it would perpetuate that behavior, if you don't do that and you just act like she didn't do it, carry on with the exercise, it's going to fade away over time, so don't worry about that. The way that you take her off the mat, you're going to pat your leg and say, okay. You're going to have her sit, and then you're going to tap her chest, always on a loose leash. Go. And she's free. Always pick this mat up, because it's a very exclusive spot. It's not a doggy bed. It's actually only for this one thing, and you only use it exactly the way I showed you. When you put it down on the floor, you go get her from somewhere. She's on a leash. She can't just walk over it or step over it on it, because it will dilute the power of the mat. The reason this is so powerful is because she only practices one behavior on this mat, and that's it. You're in charge the complete time. She loves doing this little game. In her mind, it's a game. She has no idea that she's developing more and more calmness in herself every time she does it. She's developing a different relationship with you because you're in charge, seeing you as the person in charge rather than just somebody that feeds her and gives her love, but she doesn't really respect. So it's a very powerful exercise to continue doing, because it changes her perception of you in a good way. And if you do this a lot and you do it the way I've done it, she's much more likely to do other things for you as well, like come when called, because she thinks of you more as the boss doing these types of things in the way that I'm doing them. So this is powerful because she just goes to that mat and she only knows one thing. She goes there, perfect downstay. If she practices a perfect downstay, then you can do down. You can do a downstay without the mat, and you have the same thing, which is, of course, what I've been doing. It's the fast track to a solid downstay. But don't stop doing this for a long time. You always need to do this every day, and she'll keep getting better and better. Okay, sit. Go. With somebody that she just recently met, sit. This is actually the second greeting routine we've done. We did one at your house. Here, I'm going to give you more. We did one at the owner's house, your house, before, and he was a stranger, and she did pretty well, and now we're doing it here for the second time. So you saw that I had her sit, I walked over, I gave him the treat, I went back to her, I'm going to pat her chest and say, go say hi, and see, that's not her fault. All you're going to do is just let her take the treat, don't pet her or anything, and I'm going to call her back to come, all right? Go say hi, just give her the treat, and then I'm going to say, come, and I have a treat here, good, and then I'm going to step into her, let her finish that, have her sit. We're just going to do this a few times, and we do this every day with different people, so she's very familiar with the routine, and we've introduced a bunch of people to her this way. Keep that leash loose. No. Go say hi. And come. Good. She's very excited. Yeah, there's a treat. Okay, one more time. And you could just do it. Sit. 3 times. As long as you're having this result where she's not barking, she's not aggressive, it doesn't matter if they don't pet her. You don't have to worry about that. Later on, she'll get to know people like she knows here, and they can do whatever they want with her, pet her, whatever. But just get her used to going over and just feeling safe enough to go and accept a gift from the other person. Go say hi, last time, and then come. Good. So as you can see, it's a great exercise because you have sit. You have a way to safely, in her mind, safely get introduced to somebody. She's practiced this so many times that she knows exactly how it's going to go. That's why the routine and exactly the way I do it is really important to do it, because even when the person's unfamiliar, the routine and the way you did it, exactly the way you see it here, is familiar to her, and she goes, oh, even though they're a stranger, I know exactly how this is going to go, and they're going to have a real special treat for me. Here, I'm just using these like little, we're going to do it one more time because I have more talking to do. We're just using little lamb dog treats, but in your case, I'd use pieces of cheese, hot dogs, pieces of chicken breast, or something that she's really crazy about. Go say hi. Come. Good. So that she always, and I'm not going to have her do anymore, that she always associates going to a new person in front of your house. We picked a place in front of your house to designate as the meeting place, and that's where you're going to do it. We've done it there multiple times now with different people. So you want to keep doing it there because she will associate that spot with meeting people, and she already does because we practice it there a bunch of times. So keep doing it exactly in that spot. You never introduce somebody in the house. A dog like this is super protective, is going to bark at them, and I know you had that thing happen to you more than once probably. She's going to be on edge in the house. She's going to protect from anybody that walks through that doorway. She's on the inside. That's a sure way to make a protective dog more on edge and more protective. So don't intro in the house. When you get to the point where she's cool with people and she's good with people, you give them one more handful. Let's say this is a big old handful of treats, good treats. That person walks ahead of you. She has this unbroken vision of the person, and then he or she goes in, turns around in the biggest area in your house, and then you come in after them. It's situationally, it's completely different than anything she's ever done. She's always inside. The new person always comes in through the front door. She guards. When you turn it around and you put her in a situation she's never been in before, where the new person's already in there and she's the one that's coming into the house, you'll have a much different result. And you have a good chance of just getting rid of that old behavior over time. And you send her to that person one last time. Make sure the payoff in the house is just maybe a big old handful of chicken breast or something like that, and then call her to come to you, pick her up, put her in a back room in her crate with her favorite bone, something that she loves to chew on. So she associates going back there in the crate when you have a visitor in the house as it's a good thing. It's all got to be like really good. Like she can't wait to do it because all these good things happen to her whenever a stranger shows up, and you're gonna see that her attitude's going to change about strangers over time. But because her problems were so severe, I'm just going to let her have those treats. Go ahead. She's on free time. This is kind of what you would do later on. You just bring her out on a leash. It's not so formal. This is much later. I'd say at least do 10 of these official greeting routines before you do this informal one where she's just hanging out with you. She's not barking at the person. You just send her over, let her have a big handful of treats, and then we're going to let her finish those. Quite a mouthful there. And then you say, come, you call her back, and so we just send her over there one time to the person. We still give the person the treat. He or she goes in there, one more treat, and then maybe in there over time, because she's going to be like this in your house, you should eat that. Let her hang out in your house like this and keep giving that person treats, and then she gives the person treat. He or she gives her treats like this, just hanging out. So over time, you don't have to be so formal. But in the beginning, I want you to do it exactly the way we practice at your house already, exactly the way I did it the first time I sent her over, the first 3 times, and then one last time in the house, and then, one last thing. Don't do the house part until you're really confident outside. I want you to do multiple greeting routines in front of your house and end it there. Take her inside, put her away in the back before the person comes in. I want you to be comfortable with doing it out there first, and her being comfortable with several different people at least before you start doing the last step in the house, because we don't want to do too much too soon. That she still may not be quite ready for that. And when you do the person in the house, have that be somebody that she obviously really likes and that she's comfortable with, and it might really help to do people that she already knows in the house first, and then later on you plug in the new person into that same routine, and it'll go a lot better. So as you can see, the concept is don't rush anything, do it gradually, be patient, stop when she's doing well. Like right now, she's wagging her tail, I'd scoop her up and take her in the house. So always stop while she's doing well. It doesn't matter if you just did it for 30 seconds. If she greeted somebody and she's doing well, that's a success. Tomorrow should be a little bit better. So always keep those rules in mind.